Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived a great king named Shah. He was powerful and wise, but he had no child. After many years, he was finally blessed with a son. He named him Qamar-al-Zaman, because his face shone like the moon. The king loved him dearly and raised him with the finest education. As Qamar-al-Zaman grew, he became handsome, intelligent, and noble. When he reached the age of marriage, the king said, "My son, it is time for you to marry." But Qamar-al-Zaman refused. "I will never marry," he said firmly. The king was shocked. He tried many times to convince him, but failed. In anger, the king ordered that his son be locked in a remote tower. Meanwhile, in another land, there was a king who had a daughter named Princess Budur. She was as beautiful and intelligent as Qamar-al-Zaman, and, like him, she refused to marry. Her father also locked her away. One night, the Jinn met and argued over who was more beautiful, Qamar-al-Zaman or Budur. To prove their claim, they brought the two together. The female Jinn carried Qamar-al-Zaman while he slept and placed him beside Budur. When Qamar-al-Zaman awoke, he saw her beauty and fell in love instantly. He took his ring and placed it on her finger, and took hers. Then he fell asleep again. When Budur awoke, she saw him and fell in love as well. When they were returned to their places, neither was the same. They both fell ill with love. They cried, suffered, and longed for each other. Doctors could not cure them. No one understood their pain, but fate had already begun its work, and their destinies were now bound together, though this was only the beginning. But their love had only just begun, and fate had far greater trials awaiting them. After that strange night, Qamar-al-Zaman and Princess Budur both fell deeply ill with love. Each held the other's ring, and longed for the one they had seen only once. Doctors could not cure them. Wise men realized that their illness was love. Eventually, Qamar-al-Zaman was freed from his tower. He set out on a long journey to find his beloved, but during his travels, one night, while he was asleep, a bird stole the ring from his hand. When he awoke, he was devastated. It was his only connection to her. Still, he continued his journey. Meanwhile, Budur decided to take action. She disguised herself as a man and left her palace. She traveled far until she reached a kingdom without a ruler because of her intelligence and dignity. The people made her their king. She ruled wisely, but never forgot her love. One day, a ship arrived. Among its goods, she saw a ring. It was the same ring she had given Qamar-al-Zaman. She ordered the owner to be brought. It was Qamar-al-Zaman. Fate had reunited them, but he did not recognize her in disguise. She tested him and slowly revealed the truth when he finally realized. They were overcome with emotion after all their suffering. They were reunited at last, but fate had not yet finished its game, and their story was far from over. After Qamar-al-Zaman and Budur finally recognized each other, they were filled with great joy, but Budur still remained in disguise as a king. She said, "We must act wisely." For a time, she kept her identity hidden. They stayed together, though in appearance she was a king and he a guest. Eventually, she revealed the truth to her court. At first, they were shocked, but they accepted her as she had ruled wisely soon after. She and Qamar-al-Zaman were married in a grand celebration, the people rejoiced. Then they decided to return to their homelands. They first travelled to Qamar-al-Zaman's kingdom, his father, who thought he had lost him forever. Wept with joy, he welcomed Budur warmly. Then they travelled to Budur's land. Her father was overjoyed as well, and accepted Qamar-al-Zaman. Their marriage united the two kingdoms. In time, they had children. Their lives became full of peace, love, and happiness, and the two who had fallen in love at first sight lived together in a beautiful destiny.